Hi, honey.
Hello.
Hi, we're so glad to have your film, Who Am I, in this year's rendition of First Shots. And I want to ask you, what is the synopsis of your film?
Okay, so the synopsis of my film is basically about a person having an identity crisis. So she doesn't know her true self and is constantly getting validation from others. So she basically has like some sort of imposter syndrome. So in the film, right, she goes through things which is she saw like the goals, and that is basically like her other self. It's like her facade. So like throughout the film is just her looking at her facade and like asking herself like, who am I? Is that like her true self or like is it not? So in the end, right, she looks at it and then like she still doubts who she is, even though like she asked that same question.
And what were like some of the challenges you faced while producing your film?
Some of the challenges I faced was that because of the current COVID situation, right? I needed to like think of like creative ways to like film this. So instead of like going out, I decided to like film at home. So I like had to think of like other ways to like make the film like go through like what I want it to become, like the intended purpose of it. But in the end, I think the interpretation and like the meaning of the film still goes through. So I think that's quite good.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Haney, for sharing with me like your insights on your poetry film journey. And without further ado, this is Who Am I by Haney Nadya.
Which route should I take? Is it left or right? Others see straight paths, yet my vision twisted knots. Destination blurred lake water. Wearing clothes, a stranger. Every wink of these lips, unfamiliar thoughts. Dancing in a crowd, playing somebody, a role behind the curtain, a lost soul. Approval from others, chained by validation, a slave for attention, my own judgment, a prison. When will I be me? Shall I forever be a liar to myself? An imposter of my own shadow.
Hey Marvin, thank you so much for making it for this interview session, and we are so happy that your film Mind Your Head is part of this year's First Shots. What were some of the challenges that you may have faced during your filmmaking process?
The administration side is a bit more tough, having the right time, right people to like do the job.
So, on the contrary, what were some of the most enjoyable moments throughout making your poetry film?
I think there was so many good moments, but I mean there is no one specific moment. I felt like every moment spent doing the film, especially since I did it with friends, right? I think it meant more. And I think having a source or like a medium to put my work, especially like on YouTube and Instagram, where everything's like easily accessible, right? It makes people that support what I do, and especially like trying to be an amateur like filmmaker and a potential like film director myself. I feel like it's easier to put myself out there in a sense. So I mean that's what makes it enjoyable lah. Like people being able to watch what I do, and especially like seeing my parents happy. I think that's the most. I think the post process is. I think it's more enjoyable than doing it. It's like by myself.
Thank you so much for sharing with me your insights about your film journey. And without further ado, it's Mind Your Head by Marvin Lim.
Sometimes I have these sounds in my head. It's just there. Sometimes I still think about you. Sometimes I still hope things wouldn't end how it did. It's painful, but we learn to live with it. I don't get what the meaning of life is anymore. I remember the times we shared our most deepest secrets. The times we could be vulnerable, but also safe. I miss them. The art of losing isn't hard to master. So many things seem filled with the intent to be lost, that they're lost, there's no disaster. The art of losing is not too hard to master, though it may look like it. Write it like disaster.
Hey Maizurah, thank you so much for making it down for today's interview session, and we are so happy that your film, My Hereafter, is part of this year's First Shots. Do you mind giving me a synopsis of your film?
Yeah, I don't mind giving you a synopsis of my film. So basically the poem is about the relationship between two people and how there's some distance that grew between them and how they try to reconcile or build a bridge between that. But so basically I decided to make a story about how after her mother's death, the daughter decided to travel back in time to visit her mother's childhood as a way to kind of learn more about the mother, since she didn't get to do that while she was alive. So I decided to, with the poem's theme of distance and separation, I tried to use that for my film in a way where the daughter tries to become closer to the mother by learning more about her childhood. So that was what my film was about.
How did it feel like working individually to produce your poetry film?
It felt good because I have a very specific way of doing things, and in a group it was easier for me to have my own creative direction, and it's not always easy to convey your idea to others. It was freeing basically to be able to do that.
All right, thank you so much for sharing with me your insights about your poetry film journey. And without further ado, it's My Hereafter by Maizurah Begum.
Hi dear, here's a box of your mom's things. Again, I'm sorry for your loss. All of a sudden, you stopped in the middle of the road, taking your hand away from mine, and turning back, leaving by the opposite direction. The Big Bang and the law of the cosmos begins where everything is moving apart from everything else. In my heart, there's only a sigh. Looking at the sky, I thought, how far is that? Far, but not more than the distance between us. Thousands of miles and more, as far as 2 planets. Far from my sight. Now I cannot speak with you, go towards you, touch you. You are far away from me. This long distance between us, this distance cannot be measured by any scale.